Why is it that no matter how hard you try, you can't seem to stick to a weight loss plan long enough to be able to see the results you're hoping for? You've tried new diets, you've tried exercise programs, you try all the different tactics out there, but you're still falling short of your goal. The truth is, going on a weight loss program that ensure that you're making progress isn't about going on a new diet every 6 months or beating yourself up 3 or 4 times in the gym per week to be able to lose weight. It's about having a plan that covers these three things. One, it has to be sustainable for you. Two, to have the support that you need as an individual. And three, it has to make sure that you're always making progress no matter what. No matter what life throws at you, you're always making progress. And I believe these are the three critical things that are very important for a weight loss program to actually gives you the results you need long term. And that's exactly what my three-step framework will give you. It will give you support, it will give you sustainability, and it also give you progress, right? Making sure that you're always making progress. Because most people start a diet, a weight loss program, and within 3 or 4 weeks, or probably a month, 6 weeks, they quit. Why is this? Because they missed a few critical steps that would have made all the difference. I promise you, the critical steps. What if you miss these critical steps? You will always fall short of your goal. And that's why I'm releasing this 3-part mini series on YouTube, giving you a sneak peek of inside my weight loss coaching program, things that I coach on, and how it actually works to help clients to actually get the results that they're looking for. And the best part about it is it's just the beginning. So let's dive in. Let's break the first one down: nutrition. When I first started to optimize my health back in 2015, I did what most people considered the first thing we do, right? We exercise, right? I joined the gym. My local gym was probably about 10 minutes away from my home. And I was training in the gym from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m., 6 days a week. And then once I finished at 6 a.m. in the morning, I would actually drive to work. And I work for 12 hours and then drive back home another 30 miles. And I'll do this, I think I did this for about 8 months consistently. So all my efforts during that time was really focusing on training. I was very disciplined in the gym. Look, I wouldn't miss it for nothing, right? I would be in the gym 6 days a week from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning, training, working. I was trying to build muscles, sexy abs, looking good, all the outer looks of actually training. And it wasn't until I developed a leaky gut, right, a chronic illness, that I realized that I was going to the gym because I was trying to outrun my horrible diet and lifestyle at the moment. Because let me tell you, I was eating whatever I want during that period of time. I was drinking, eating all the fast foods, because guess what? I didn't know what I was doing. So for me, my ignorance was overlooking the most important part of my health, my nutrition. And it's the same thing for most of you. For you are watching this, you're overlooking the number one thing that's causing you to actually gain weight. What you're putting in your gut on a daily basis. And I think it's the number one thing holding you back, right? You just don't understand the connection between what you're eating and weight gain, right? And once you can understand this principle, it will change everything for you. So if this is you, listen up. You've got to focus on what you're eating. Let's take your breakfast as an example. Does your breakfast contain more carbohydrates than protein? And if you don't know what that looks like, let me explain. If your breakfast looks like cereal, sandwich, pastry, bread, oats, beans and toast, full English breakfast, sweetened yogurts, all these sweet drinks, teas, sodas, fruit juice, all of those things, you know what I'm talking about? If your breakfast looks anything like that, it's likely that you're consuming way more carbohydrates or energy dense foods relative to protein. And it's highly likely that is the number one reason why you're struggling to lose weight, or you can't actually maintain a healthy body weight that you want, because you're just having too much energy dense foods for breakfast. You're starting your day high energy and you're just not really burning that energy. And as I'm telling you, you might be thinking, oh, I didn't know that. That's the number one problem. The ignorance of understanding these principles that I'm sharing with you. When you consume more carbohydrates, calories relative to protein, you're telling your body store energy, right? It's almost like you have a cup and it's full of tea, and you're still pouring more tea in there, even though you can see it's still full. That's what's going on in your body, right? You just consume all of these energy dense foods, and you're just not burning off. A lot of people who struggle with, with with weight issues, a lot of them are very sedentary, right? The normal office worker who just wake up in the morning, look after their breakfast, go to work, sit for probably half the day, because that's their job, and then they go back home and they just rinse, wash, and repeat. The cycle continues again. If that's you, it's likely that you're just having too much carbohydrates that your body can actually use or burn or utilize. Here's an important thing that I want you to understand. I have had lots, at this point, probably hundreds of conversations with individuals who are struggling to lose weight or maintain a healthy body weight. And the number one problem they have is they just consuming way more carbohydrates relative to protein, right? They're consuming foods that telling their body you need to store energy, you need to store energy, rather than having foods that telling the body utilize energy versus protein. Look, the body turns over 200 to 300 grams of protein a day. That's what the body does. It turns over 200 to 300 grams of protein a day. Whether you're 16 or 65, it doesn't really matter. And I'm not saying you should go and have 200 grams of protein a day. All I'm saying to you, start by having 100 grams of protein a day. And I promise you, once you have 100 grams of protein a day, what it will do, it will push most of the carbohydrates you have off the plate, right? Because eating 100 grams of protein a day is quite a lot of food to eat, right? And if the more protein you eat, you're telling your body to build muscles, utilize the energy to actually build muscle rather than to store it into fat cells. That's just a simple principle of just having more protein, right? And like I said, I'm not saying to people you should go and have 200 grams of protein a day. No, I want you to only have 100 grams of protein a day. And I promise you, notice the difference. Because what? You're now telling your body you want to utilize energy and not store energy. And that's the big difference, right? If you're having foods that telling the body store energy and don't utilize it, that's what the body's going to do, right? The body will adapt to whatever stimulus you put it under. That's all the body is doing. It's adapting to the environment or the stimulus that you gives it. So that's the first piece of the framework. And I promise you, if you fix your nutrition, then it's the easiest way to regain control of your health, because everything stems from what you're eating, right? So if you fix that first thing, if you fix that, then exercise and all the other things I'm about to show you becomes an option, right? Because you've got the number one thing under control, which is your nutrition. So that's the first lesson in this mini series, nutrition. Your next video will introduce you to exercise. Can't wait to see you inside.